Hello, all greetings. This is Gilles Morcier. I thought I come and say hello, continue those discussion about spiritual ascension path. For if you look in the news, those things are completely known as fake news. Spiritual ascension, even the existence of God is just something that exists in the religious book, but it's like the society does not apply this law of one, this law of God. For when they speak about spirituality here in the French TV, the yoga, the meditation, the ascension process, they talk about the marabout that are marabouting. When you talk, and so I'm not putting in question the journalists; they're all very sincere, but many of them are being manipulated to believe and express certain ideas. When you speak about the end of war, it's like it's fake news. When you talk about extraterrestrial, it's fake news. When you talk about the crimes of the pharmaceutical, it's fake news. When you talk about all those things, it's like considered to be an enemy to the system that is the system of control that is there. So it is a challenge so you can fully rely on your inner self. Whatever you believe, whatever you trust, whatever you know is really more important than any of the things that can be broadcasted, or even that I broadcast outside, that come from the outside. It is your inner self that is most important. For change is good. We want to change. Change is essential to the process of that which we're going on. We have no choice. Life will always change. We can never hold on to anything for any long time anyway. So to manifest this change, you want to circulate through your seven chakras. First in your root chakra, say, I am changing, I want to change, I accept the change, I accept the change. Then you move it to the earth chakra, the navel, and say, I am changing, I accept the change. Then the solar plexus, I am changing, I accept the change. The throat chakra, I am changing, I accept the change. The third eye chakra, I am changing, I'm accepting the change. And the crown chakra, I am changing, accepting the change. For everything in the roots is held by one of the powerful agents of change, is Lord Pluto. Pluto is the Lord of transformation. So we want to work with this energy for understanding that whatever we believe the change will be is only a belief. We do not know what it will come, so it's a matter of developing trust and faith that there are greater energies that will come. For all exists because of consciousness. Quantum physics has demonstrated if we believe something, it will become something. If we believe a particle is a particle, it will be a particle. If we believe it is a wave, it will behave as a wave. Everything is conditioned by consciousness. Even the whole universe is conditioned by the consciousness of God. Everything we do not know, everything is conditioned by this great, the mind of God that keeps everything in frequency, and that's through the DNA, the source code is moving all things in evolution to evolve and grow. And so we want to be in loving acceptance of our past. That everything that we've been through in our past is just to bring us to the point where we are now. For we need to reprogram old belief, negative belief system, into positive belief, because whatever we believe will be made real by life. Life will accept whatever we choose to believe to make that our reality, and then so that's why we need to change. If we live already on paradise, things will change. But once we reach that point of that point of eternal stillness, that point of eternal abundance, all that island is, then the change will be peripheral, let's say. Will be moving to a state of permanence. This is what we seek. But in the universe, all things are changing. For understanding the light, all of light is already present within you. Light is the consciousness of God. It is all of light. The light is information. Like, communicate with the light, and ask the light to turn towards the light. Ask the light to communicate with you. For within the light there is all the things that we are looking for. Because inside our inner energy, we have to get rid of the guilt, the blame, the shame, all those things that we have, those judgments that we have on ourselves, on other people, and the world. In order to find this state of balance, we need to clear that up. Understanding we have to learn from them, but we have to transmute into this loving acceptance, where we find a true creative a plateau where we are in full creativity and gratitude. And do not give up on the power of love. No, sometimes there is very intense fear, intense energies that may come up, but no matter how intense they may be, they are just coming up to be released. For there is no blame, even those people who commit suicide, there is no blame, they receive into the light. Yet, no matter what obstacle they couldn't face when they have to do that, they have to return, reincarnate, and manifest the same challenge that they were not ready to face, so, because they understand that if there is a challenge, it needs to be faced. So there's no getting away from anything. It is the same thing in the opposite end of the spectrum. The children that are extremely gifted, like Mozart, is because he earned all those creative talent and power in a past life. Every talent we have is some people are very, very, they have all those gifts. It seems to be more, but it's because they've been here longer. They've developed those power, those talents, and so now they are able to manifest them into the world. So it is important to continue to cultivate yourself, to be creative, to know that there is no equality. Everybody's one, everybody's unique, and you are beloved children of God. What you want is to be healthy, wealthy, and wise. Every day you increase your health, your wealth, and your wisdom. Each day is a preparation for the next day. It is a sketch that prepares the next day. In the Hindu tradition, they know that each incarnation is a preparation for the next incarnation. And but this incarnation is very, very powerful because it is a point of resolution, a synthesis between all of our past life. Even if we have to have a future incarnation, we'll have made this synthesis. This lifetime is one of the most essential, the most important of all our lifetimes. For there's a lot of things in my Akash that I'm recovering, and there's this one life in the 17th century that I had in France, and where it was the whole life was dedicated to celebration, partying, having fun, enjoying myself. And so this is coming back to remind me that this is so important, so essential. It wasn't perfect, but it was so much fun, and I want to recreate this kind of lifestyle in my present incarnation. I'm going to pull a few cards. I'm just sharing ideas to bring. So the highest wisdom is intuition. Follow your intuition. The intuition is opening the door to so much more. What we need to understand is renewal. Regeneration. Everything is being regenerated. So we want to understand that there is a constant regeneration. If we let go of all the past, there is new energies that are coming up that are far greater and far more refined, more crisp, greater light. We can see beyond. We can see more. We can open doorways of perception in other dimensions. What we need to do is compassion, is to be good to ourselves, to love ourselves, to forgive ourselves, to also assist others when it is required. And the outcome is funny, it's the same cards that were in French. I mixed them, and it's enthusiasm. We got to be enthusiastic. There's a great deal of enthusiasm for what is to come. For what is to come is so much nicer than the work. We've worked really hard to get where we are. So now we are at the doors of paradise, the miracle. You are the miracle. There is an exercise that's very important, is to integrate, to work with that, is to bring about the light from the soul. And so you turn to your soul star. It is a Merkaba, it is a soul star, and you bring it down. You say, I integrate my soul light, and you bring it down to your heart. And you breathe in this soul light, and then you send it to your earth star below your feet, and you send it to the center of the planet, this energy. And then you bring it back down to your heart. You feel the love of the earth, and then you send it back to the soul star, and you repeat that exercise, and you bring it down, and you bring it up, and until your whole energy is being fluid and integrated between your higher portals and your lower portals. I know that my God self is telling me that it will soon become dominant within me. So I'm really looking forward to that. And I have already vision that I've been shown about those aspects of my God self becoming that, becoming this fusion with my God self. But Spirit says that what I believe will be, it's very little in relation to the truth of what will be coming, because it's far greater than anything I can imagine. And we all have this potential of tuning in and fusing our consciousness. We are awakening the collective Christ, the collective Buddha, the collective Messiah. For it is in essence, this energy has to be, it is not about the ego of say, well, one person is doing this or one person is doing that. It's about having enough of this divinity, so this divinity can show and awaken the divinity within all the beings, so we can have this collective experience of Christ, of Buddha. For the Christ is more than this one incarnation that Jesus had. Jesus was just one incarnation of this great God becoming man, but a very powerful incarnation. But we all have this energy, and so we want to awaken this collective Christ, this collective Messiah, this collective Buddha. We are moving close to this, the Wesak celebration on the 19th of this month. There will be the full moon in Scorpio, and it will be the celebration of the birth, the ascension, and the ascension and the departure of the Buddha. And so it is all. And the Buddha and the Christ are fusing their energy. They're working in unity consciousness, and you are that, you are it. It is important to understand that there are beings on the planet that are very advanced. They're called trees. They're very advanced consciousness. They're always anchored in the earth. They're always in serenity. They're always in contemplation. And they're always in acceptation when the trees anchor its roots and meet the family of trees, meet the family of minerals. And very often their roots are unable to grow, but they're not in complaint. They're not say, well, I don't want to be a tree anymore because there is this rock that's preventing me from anchoring my roots and growing. Always will find the growth and able to adapt. The trees are in unity consciousness, the animals are in unity consciousness, the minerals are in unity consciousness, and now humanity has to become in unity consciousness, to let go of the ego that we are so superior, for we have not handled the planet, the resources of the planet. We are mistreating a lot of the other kingdom. There is a great deal of forgiveness and acceptance, and so, but we need to change our way in order to survive. For there is millions of species, they were saying in this report that the millions of species that are endangered, but humanity could be in danger if it doesn't change its way. It could become one of the endangered species. It would be one it will not happen because the earth wants to ascend with the population, but there is a lot of people that will not be able to make that ascension. They will have to continue in the third dimension of frequency, because they are not accepting of that divinity, which they already are. It is good to listen to the song of the bird. The song of the bird reminds us of this joy of being within nature. Understanding that society may not accept you. In society, we have to fight for everything that we have. But in nature, you are fully accepted. Society will try to force you into a mold, but in nature, nature will not try to change you. They accept, nature loves you and accepts you as you are. In a sense, there are many incarnations, many lives. We had many lives, but there is only one life, and it's always just different aspect of that one life that's studying itself. And everything wants to merge back into the one, eventually the source of all that is. When we see all the condition of the world, sometimes we do want to feel this love and compassion for those who are abused, those who are suffering. But it's also good to show the compassion for the abuser. It's by putting everything in one to send the light and love to all the process that we can heal it. Otherwise, because often people are, one person that's been abused in one lifetime will reincarnate in the abuser position, and then he goes on in an eternal circle of karma and suffering, until there is a forgiveness, and then the cycle is ended and everybody's free from that cycle. When it comes to meeting God, you don't need to get a haircut, you don't need to change your wardrobe, you don't need a new car, you don't need a better house, you don't need to change circumstances of your life, you don't need to clean your body, you don't need anything. You just need your loving acceptance and reconnection through your intention to reconnect to your source, to your father, to your creator, your mother, however you conceive of God to be. God is already in waiting to be reconnected with you. He knows his children, he knows you as you are, and he sees you as you were, as you are, and where you will be. For God is not limited by the physical condition, no matter what. And so do that now, do that every day. Reconnect to your creator by recognizing God. God can recognize you, but God has always been there, always in loving acceptance of you. So be in loving acceptance of him, of her, and integrate whatever lesson and good deed, and integrate all those energies. For there is it's like so you can be in the arms of God. For you are the child of the greatest Lord in the universe. So how great is that? Not to know that, not to use the resources of that great island of paradise. To not to be aware of that is what creates the separation. Once you are aware, you create this reconnection. Then the separation will. All separation will dissolve, for the veils are very subtle sometimes, when we have to accept and move one step at a time. For our destiny is to be with God. Also, I wanted to bring another idea. It's like at some point, for we have done a lot of work and we've been through a lot of. For those who, I'm sure, if you listen to this video, that means you're already very advanced in your spirituality. And for a lot, there was a lot of times where we felt like there was explosion inside our hearts, like a palpitation, or like we thought like, what's going on? We had no clue what's going on. But it was just explosion. There were barriers that were broken in the heart chakra. All kinds of things that were dissolved, and so now the heart chakra is opening. All those things. Of course, if the physical, the ascension will create sometimes uncomfort on the physical level. If an uncomfort lasts too long, then you want to consult a medical practitioner of some sort. But otherwise, it is just a temporary adjustment of the physical energy chakra system that needs to be reopened, and so there is some uncomfort because it needs to be open, and so there is like energies boosting all kinds of whole system to rework with all our brain, all our DNA. For our DNA is like we're not meant to work with 97% of our DNA closed. We're not meant to work with 90% of our brain non-functional. We are here to for we realize that you receive more and more energies of the spirit world, of your higher self. Just pay attention to those messages. Those messages are tunnels. They come through tunnels through the DNA, tunnels, the doorway, portals that are coming through the DNA. It's a two-way street, and they are reactivating. They come from those 97 that are of DNA that are inactive, and they are the source codes are reactivating some of those functions, and eventually they will all be open. That's essentially what I wanted to bring about in this video. I hope this message made sense to you, that you can use those energies, use those for there is really nothing to do except to surround her and to accept whatever our soul has, to align with our soul, with the highest soul potential. The paintings behind me, this is a study on paper. It's a conceptual painting. I think everybody should have a painting like that. It's about the fruits of spirit, and it says kindness, goodness, gentleness, peace, joy, truthfulness, love, happiness, patience, and self-control. It reminds you of all those things that we have, that's more essential. Kindness, goodness, gentleness, peace, joy, truthfulness, love, happiness, patience, and self-control. It's so essential to focus on that, to know that this is your true nature, is to harvest those fruits of spirit each and every day to receive. And we want to develop 8... what is the most, make a list, what is the 8 aspect of your divinity you want to focus on. I think if you want to focus on 3 is health, wealth, and happiness and wisdom. But it's like everybody's different. What is your priority in this evolution of divinity? So it's good to continue to make lists, to work with yourself, and sometimes just to let go and be in receptive mode, of course. And this painting is a astrological self-portrait, and there's like hundreds of planets in my personal astrology. Originally, there was a big wave. It was very different. It was a big wave in the Ukusai tradition with the Mount Fiji, and it's like the waves of bliss of the Ukusai. And inside the waves, there was a surfboard with 2 people sitting on it drinking tea. But I wasn't ready to finish the painting as it, and so it became something else. Sometimes I'm not patient enough with the painting, but I can always take the theme on some other works later on. I'm going to finish with a song that speaks about the return of the Christ, the return of the glory of that coming. But understand, it comes from within. It has the Christ exists within all beings, and the more you tune into your own ability to recognize your divinity, or recognize it in others, and that will bring about this light and love in all beings that you encounter. They may not get it all the way consciously, but it will assist them, and if they're ready, they will see it consciously, this tuning in. And it's good if you can enlighten 2 people, then those 2 people can enlighten 2 more people, and then then it will go very fast, and we'll move into a world that is fully conscious very soon. So it's an old song, it's a folk song, a gospel song. It goes like this. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. He is trampling out the vantage where the grapes of wrath are stored. He has lost the faithful lighting of his terrible sweet sword. His truth is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Hallelujah, His truth is marching on. In the beauty of the lilies, Christ was born across the sea, with a glory in his bosom that transfigures you and me. As he died to make man holy, let us live to make man free, as truth is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on. Well, thank you very much for sticking till the end. So to remember this truth that is march on from within. It is your own spirit, your own spirit self that is marching forward in your integration of your highest joy, highest fulfillment, where all things make sense in the realization of this Earth mission, and we move into total gratitude. And thank you very much, Namaste. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, and I'll talk to you later. Namaste.